Tutoring companies racking up dozens of complaints while collecting thousands of your tax dollars.
Until recently, there's been very little school districts could do about it. It's a big problem our news partner, the Texas Tribune, has been digging into for months. And tonight, KXAN's education reporter Erin Cargile takes an in-depth look at a Texas tutoring program gone terribly wrong.
Last week, a waiver secured by the Texas Education Agency loosened the federal grip on low-performing school districts. They no longer have to set aside a chunk of their federal dollars to pay private tutoring companies to help low-income students. It is a huge relief for districts that have spent time and resources filing more than 75 complaints against the companies parents had to hire because they were on a vendor list provided by the state. Since 2007, Texas school districts have paid private tutoring companies more than $180 million. Records from TEA show districts not only questioned the benefit, but also caught the companies flat out lying. In some cases, tutors had no background checks. Companies paid students to recruit their friends into programs, and vendors billed districts thousands of dollars when parents said their kids never received tutoring.
What they did receive were gimmicks like a free iPad and in exchange to sign a form saying that they are enrolled in services.
Last legislative session, San Antonio Representative Mike Villarreal authored a bill to crack down on these questionable companies. Now the state must remove bad ones from the list and fill parents in on their track record.
I put a lot of the blame on a system that really put handcuffs on our school districts.
While no Central Texas districts filed complaints, Austin ISD had one of the companies currently on probation on its list of vendors.
We monitored it very closely.
Nancy Phillips oversees the program for the district. She says no problems so far, but
we have no control as to what actually occurs in the tutoring, the way it was written in the Fed guidelines. It's part of a requirement, and you smile and you do the requirement. And now I'm happy we have the waiver.
Now, after repeatedly claiming it had no authority to intervene, the Texas Education Agency started investigating and removed a handful of tutoring companies from the list. Texas Tribune reporter Morgan Smith has been collecting all of this data and talking to frustrated school districts. Welcome, Morgan.
Thank you.
I know this has taken a long time to get a lot of this data. What sparked this investigation?
This was something that I had read about happening in school districts both here in Texas and also around the country. And back in July, I decided to file more than 60 open records requests with school districts around the state to really try and get a handle for what kinds of complaints were being filed and what the oversight was of these companies.
And I know that there are several parts to this series. More is coming, so what's next?
That's right. We'll be looking into the possibility of this program continuing at the state level now that the No Child Left Behind waiver has been secured, and what kinds of reforms might be necessary to be put in place if it does indeed continue.
All right, thank you, Morgan, and thanks for the work that you're doing.
Thank you, Erin.
All right, online now at KXAN.com, we've put a link to the companies that have been removed, including details about the complaints filed against them. Just look for this story on the homepage, plus a link to Morgan's story with our media partner, the Texas Tribune.